Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Wordle with Art. We're going to do something special today. We are going to do a challenge, but guess what? We are going to mirror Doug's Fearless Friday. Yes, I listened to his video from last night, and I know exactly what word he's going to start with today. As you know, Doug starts with a challenging word on Fridays, and he stays in hard mode. We're going to do exactly the same thing, and just for added little attraction, we're going to see if we can beat him. And please be sure, if you're one of my subscribers, go over to Doug's channel, watch him, and subscribe to him as well. So let's go ahead and hit the play button, and hopefully we could do this, okay? Yippee is actually a really, really hard word if you think about it. Doubling up on the P's, doubling up on the Y's, and nothing else. It's pretty bad, okay? So let's go ahead and hit Yippee and see what we get. All right, we get an I out of position, which is not terrible considering what we're starting with. Now we have to stay in hard mode, so let's just move the I to a new location. A very, 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 very good word, in my opinion, would be sweet. Now, have we had it yet? I don't think so, okay? I don't think so. So let's go with sweet. I mean, it's right. I think you'd have to agree, guys. It's pretty close to perfect. The S, T, and E are unbeatable letters. The I in the center is a great place to put it. And we introduced the U. Yeah, I might prefer the O, but I think the U is fine. So let's go ahead and try sweet. Okay, I mean, not terrible. Not too terrible. This doesn't look like a trappy scenario, so I'm happy about that. And it doesn't begin with S. That actually makes me happy too. So we've got the I and the E locked in. Let's see here. Now we have a lot of possibilities, though, don't we? We actually have quite a few possibilities. I think I'd like to start by thinking about what goes between the I and the E. That's the way to go. So R's our first possibility. In which case, oh, you know, this is funny. I guessed this recently, and instead of it being a fire, this was on one of my challenges. I was successful. But instead of it being a fire, it was it was something else. Shoot, I just can't quite remember. I think a fire is a pretty solid guess. Again, we have to stay in hard mode, so I have no choice. But I think R would be a very good letter to test between the I and the E. A is pretty solid. F is not bad. And then after that, I am actually slightly concerned. I mean, even though, you know, there's a lot of things that could go in there between that. Maybe rather than trying to beat poor Doug, why don't we actually just make sure that we solve this darn thing? So let's think for a second here, guys. It's like, whoa, hang on. Maybe this is a trap. I mean, a fire, I think, is a completely reasonable guess. Here's the problem. Letters that could also go between that I and the E are going to be D. Okay. For instance, chide. So chide would work. Oh, shoot. This is actually really bad. What about even the F? Could that go between? So it'd be an IF word. IF. I'm a little bit less favorable about that. The D for sure, though. I mean, we've got chide. That's at least one, and I'm sure there's some others. So my point is I want to just see how many letters we really need to test between the I and the E and try to make sure that as many of them are tested in my next guess. So that might make me less willing to do a fire. Okay. Now, moving on. G. So IGE, I-G-E. I don't think so. I mean, possibly, but no, I don't think so. It doesn't really jump out at me. Okay, H, forget it. I don't think that's going to work, which is good. I don't think we have to worry about the J. Okay, now what about the K? Ooh. So an Ike word. It's obviously not going to be spike. I'm not too sure about an Ike word. How about aisle? So we just recently did have while. Okay, so we don't have to worry about while, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't worry about aisle. So not too much coming to mind with that immediately. Oh shoot! And then what about at first you think, forget the Z, but I mean, I know it wouldn't be prize, but eyes. Yes. Oh wow. Okay, so graze. Ooh, ouch. So we have quite a bit here. So we have graze, and we know we've got the fire. We definitely have to test the D. So my point is, I want to, yeah. Oh my gosh, graze. That's a good one. Okay, then we've got X. Thankfully, no. Okay, then we got C. I bet that could work. Ice. Ice. I don't know actually about ice. Doesn't quite jump out at me. V, Ive. Ooh, chive. You could have a chive for sure, right? Chives. We did have drive. Thankfully, I remember that. I have an image in my mind from the little directory that I created of previously used Wordles of just somebody driving down the word, driving down the road. But it's the present tense, that's for sure. So we have to be careful. So, but we don't have, we didn't have, we've had that, so we don't have to worry about that word. But I'm still concerned about IVE. What else could work there? So it's not drive. We had olive. Okay. So really, I guess chive, a chive. What about ibe? Okay, it's not tribe. We have had bribe. I don't see too many others with the IBE. Ein. Oh my gosh. Boy, that is ridiculous. At first when I said, "Oh, it doesn't look like a trap." Are you kidding me? This is a mega trap. Um and then okay, brine. We have had brine, thankfully. Okay, so I remember that. And finally, I'm. We had crime. So the good news is that for each one of these that I'm testing, I mean, I'm sure I'm overlooking a few, but it doesn't seem like there's hundreds within them. That would be really sneaky, right? So we have to just get that fourth letter. Then I think this thing is pretty close to unlocked. So we had crime, we had grime. Okay. I don't know if we had chime. So it's funny. We're getting, yeah. So chime is a good one. So we've got chime, chive, and chide. What would be the most strategic thing here? This is scary, actually. This is pretty darn scary. Chime, chide, and chime, chide, and chive. And I didn't really see anything with the ice. So I'm not so sure if the C is really great. I think we have to get at least 2 letters to test here. That's the key. A fire, again, the problem with that is that I'm only testing really the R. So how could we get 2 tested? And then I think we could avoid losing this. What do I need? I want to get so I have to get a good letter. in second and then in the fourth position. And I have to test the ones I really wanted, even the Z, right? Even because of that. Oh, why was I thinking grays? That's ridiculous. Maybe I don't have to at least worry about the Z. Prize. Yeah. Okay. So we got to get I think the D is going to be important and the R. Huh, actually, you know what? Maybe drive is a good guess. I know it's been used, but maybe drive is not a bad guess, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm testing 3 of these letters that could go in there. We know that we have to test the V because of chive. We know that we need to test the R because of maybe a fire. And we know that we would want to test the D because of maybe like chide. Well, you can tell how severe I'm thinking on this, guys. I know we're already 10 minutes in, but I think drive is actually a very, very good guess, okay? I think it's a very solid guess. Okay, I know that looks really bad, but I do think that got rid of a lot of potential words. Okay. So now, yes. So see, now look. And it wasn't a fire, okay? So now look at this, guys. I think we're down to, you know, maybe it'll come down to chime. Now, chimes, again, not bad. It certainly, I think it could be an answer. We would be testing the M and the C because I do think, I might be overlooking some ice words. I didn't see anything with the F, with IF. I didn't see anything with G, or I didn't see anything with K. Did I see anything with isle? We had while just recently. So I think chime is okay. And I didn't see anything with the B because we had bribe. And we don't need to worry about tribe. Okay, so let's go with chime. Boom! All right. I think 4 is actually pretty respectable for today, and I think my drive guess was extremely important. I think without that, I could have been, if we didn't think about all the possible scenarios there, guys, I think we could have easily fallen for a nasty trap. So I hope that Doug, doesn't end up getting the I and the E locked in as early as I did, because, you're going to run into that trouble. Whereas if he starts with, if he makes a guess using the C, yeah, he's going to be in great shape. I think that will be less likely to encounter the trap. But yeah, I'm actually quite happy with that, to get that in 4, considering we started with the silly yippy. That actually wasn't bad at all. Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. In fact, if you guys, for those who are interested, why don't we just stick around for a second and go to Squirtle. And let's see how drive did. I'm very curious in this case, okay? So we did yippy. And our first guess, the answer was not yippy. The answer was chime. Okay. And our first guess was yippy. And so that brought it down by a factor of 7. Probably just because, we got rid of the P, the Y, and we know that there's an I in it. So that's not bad. Then my next guess was sweet. They wanted rains. Okay, they wanted rains. But I think sweet's better because I don't think it's been used, and plurals are usually not accepted. So let's see how sweet did. Nice, right? I think sweet was a very good guess. It got it down to 96. But look at all these options. Let's see how many of them. So I mentioned brine, but we had it. Alive, actually, that's a good one. I'm not sure if we've had that. I know we have had alike. There was naive, anime. Holy cow, wave. We had bride. We had alike. Agile. I think we had that recently. Wine we had. Abide. That's a good one. I don't think we had it. Maze we had. Crime we had. Glide. I don't know if we had it. Wow. We had drive. Ovine. We had grime. Olive we had. Chide I mentioned. Elide. There was a fire. Oh my gosh. This is just like I mean, those first four rows are all like good quality words. Now, again, I think we've had about half of them, but still. And then as you can see, they get a little bit more exotic towards the end. I'm not going to read off all of them. But the point is, yeah, I mentioned some, but not all of them. There was a lot. Okay. Let's go to our third guest, which I hope that Drive was the one that really crushed this thing for us. So there it is. And it actually interesting. It only brought it down to 38. So I think I got kind of lucky. What do you think, guys? Here's the 38. We still had anime, agile. No, we had anime. I think we had agile. We had wine. We had a like. I wouldn't do online. That's a funny spelling. Exile is a good one. Holy cow! I didn't think about that. So anime, exile. We had right. We considered chime. And then actually, you know what? Knife. That's a good one. We haven't had knife. Holy cow. So for Chile, I'm not sure about the spelling on that. So there you oh, and beige. So 5. So I think, yeah, I think I got relatively lucky, but I also think drive was a solid reduction, right? We went from all these words here to these words here. I think, and when you're in hard mode under the circumstances, considering I'm got like, this I and E barricading me from, doing anything else, I think it was actually pretty good. And it looks like I had a 1 in 5 there from just what I would consider like legitimate Wordle answers and also taking out the ones that we already had, which I'm pretty sure of. All right. And then, of course, if we go to the end, which was, I think, a very solid, I think this was a good guess. What do you think, guys? With chime? And there you have it. Okay. And I'm happy to announce that we did take out Squirtle. Squirtle went Slate, Born, Midge, Pumy, and then chime. I think that was excellent. Chime is not going to be, a terribly difficult word, but I do think the structure with the I and the E is a very, very trappy. It just depends on what angle you approach the word. So we'll see how Doug does, right, guys? Yeah, so I think those Fearless Fridays that he does are super fun. I may just do that as my own challenge on Fridays as well. Of course, I'm not going to steal the title. That's a very clever title, but we'll just mirror Doug, and we'll see if we can beat him. Certainly, I don't think I'm going to beat him on time. He's a little bit faster, but I think we will find out. But I'd be impressed if he did better than 4 guesses. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed, and do share your results below. And, of course, do share more challenges for art, okay? Fearless Fridays using a super hard word from Doug, I think, is going to be a fun way to do our Fridays, but we have to take care of the other 6 days of the weeks, right, guys? All right, have a good one, and, of course, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for yet another edition of Wordle with Art.